Today was a bit impromptu. This is why I was doing some things.
It is impromptu.
Usually when a client comes, everything is all set.
Yes.
So I don't even spend time. What I do is I'll come early enough, make sure everything is good to go. So when they're on their time is for recording and doing work. It's not for me.
And obviously, if I'd have known this morning, I would have looked very glamorous today.
Oh, you already do. You look good. But I was saying, like, you know, the impromptu ones, sometimes they're the best ones.
Hey, and do you know what? I really am an advocate of just getting it done.
Yes.
Because sometimes if you talk and talk and talk about it,
it's not
it never happens.
Yeah.
And you just need to act, get it in, get it down, get it on the thing.
Yeah.
And then move on.
It's out of the bag.
And then if it's rubbish, we can do another one.
Exactly.
But you don't know until you do it, do you?
And another one.
Yeah,
right?
another one, yeah.
But you know, part of what I love in having this conversation, because I was thinking about it, I was telling you, I was kind of feeling a little bit deterred. I'm not even going to lie to you about it, because I thought I used to do a podcast, which I may start again. But with this, it's a business, right? And I have had a few people ask me about the podcast because they've seen this studio. So I'm like, no, you want to ask me about the services? I can do some services for you. I can produce, but not the...
and this is it. This is it, Isaac. So, you need to know when you can make that into a profitable thing for them.
Yes.
You know,
how can I help you with that?
You are helping with people
to
get their businesses out there. I mean, everybody says, like, I mean, I listen to Chris Evans on a morning, and he literally gives out podcast after podcast after podcast. Listen to this guy, listen to that guy, listen to this guy, listen to that guy, listen to this woman.
So
all these times, you know, he listens to them all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just started listening to some, you know, and following a few people that he listens to, because I think they're quite interesting when they come on his show. But everybody's saying that podcasting is a really great way to put your business across.
Oh, yes.
And some of the things that I think is that people buy people. And if you knew more about the people that were doing the services for you and helping you with your business, then you would buy into that business.
Absolutely.
And so sometimes it's good to know, like all the famous people that have got the massive businesses, we tend to know a little bit about, because they've either got an autobiography or, you know, we know where they've come from or they've gone to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But, you know, just the normal, you know, Joe Blogs on the street who's got his business and is doing his thing, you know, we want to know about him.
Absolutely.
You know, we want to like him and then we want to work with him.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So podcasting is one of those things that I think is, you know, one of the reasons why it's booming is because people have got plenty of time to put their earpods in and listen to people like you and listen to people like another business that they're interested in.
Yes.
Or what is that? What is behind that business? How
did it come along?
How did it come along?
You
what
know,
can we do?
I will say, actually, with you having said that, I know today we don't have much of the time, but I would love to hear your story properly, actually, because I loved it. And you know, when Paul came, the photographer, and you were speaking about it a little bit, I was like, now
what
I understand
a nice guy
why
he is.
Oh, he's lovely. He's amazing, Paul.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I worked with him once. I was like, I want to work with you again. And that kind of, because he's just a gentle, lovely man. Your story is why we connected. Because before you told us, I hadn't known like the intricacies of your story. I was like, yep, this is the reason why. I think there was just something there. So when I hear how you've bootstrapped and you've just gone for it, that's me, right? And that's what I do. And I was like, man, what an amazing story. And I can't wait for the time to come when people can really hear about it in its entirety.
Yeah, we'll do that one day.
Yeah, no, most certainly.
But what we need to do today is we need to get Podmatic. We need to get Podmatic going.
Listen, with this, I think we are, because the beauty of this, I think, something I underestimated is it will get to show the quality of audio and the quality of visuals as well as the quality of characters.
You see, because whatever people want to advertise in their business, like, so for example, we've got quite a lot of like recruitment companies in the Junction.
Brilliant.
Yeah, which is brilliant, you know. And I think that if somebody just came in and did a voiceover with all the details on the screen as to what the job is, and, you know, or you could have a video on one side and all the details down the side of what the job is. And it's a different way to advertise.
Absolutely. And the beauty is I've made voiceover really affordable. Out of everything in this space, it's the most affordable. The reason for that is for people that need that sort of
more
service
often.
where you come, an hour is £75 an hour. An hour is a long time. Right? So if you are smart and you've planned your content, you can come and record a whole ton of content on your own and go do with it as you please. The animation apps that will allow you to animate text. You can do actual animation. As you've said, there's just so much that can be done. So for a person,
and do you know you can advise on those apps that they can use?
I can advise on the apps that they can use. I can even recommend, because I've already been speaking to freelancers. Like I've spoken, I know a person with an animation studio. I know a graphics designer. So, you were saying bespoke. That's what we are. Part of what sets us apart is we're creating a bespoke product, because I also help with podcast covers, unique covers, but I don't get to do it. I've actually spoken to a graphics designer, found out that, they'll be able to help me to bring original covers to life for clients. So when we do that consultation, I find out how you want to individualize it, right? And then we'll make it happen. Of course, that cost, and that's a cost that the client can choose to have or not have. Another one is intros. So we can help you make some custom intros in our booth as well, which again, it helps to set
And what
you
would
apart.
you intro? What would you intro?
My intro. Oh, listen.
No, but what would you intro? Like, what if I was a business? What would you say I would intro for? Like intro for a podcast or for an advert?
So the introduction I was thinking of is in the beginning of the podcast.
Okay.
So let's say you record your podcast. So it's like, hello, welcome to the Podmatic.
Oh, and you can record
and then we do the music
and that
add
starts
the little
it off,
sounds.
and then you do a different one each week or whatever.
But yes, absolutely. But you see, when you're doing it in there and it's got that, audible radio type of vocal, it just sets it apart. And then obviously we help with what we can add, soundtrack and whatever. But then that is enough to kind of just individualize you. So each time anybody listens to your podcast, the minute they hear you at that beginning, it's already set a tone for your podcast. And
let me ask you another question then.
Go on then.
So for people that have never done this before, they're thinking, "Woo, this could help my business."
Yes.
Yeah. Where would you put your podcast? Where would you put it?
So to put it, usually it's the usual platforms such as Spotify, Apple, there's Amazon Music. There is, I think usually if you use Spotify, it puts them all out on these other platforms. Okay. But what I would
And do you know how to, is that part of your thing? You can show them how to do that?
Distribution, yes. Yeah. So I can help them how to do it. And then if they want, I can work it out where I can do it for them.
Yes. Oh,
as
right.
Well, on my side, yes. Yeah. I can do it for them on my side if it makes life easier for them to do it that way. But the goal is to build their own platform and to start to get it out on their social medias and things like that. Another really good one, believe it or not, is YouTube.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yes. So because we do video element, if you do your video element and you add it on YouTube, you tag it correctly, you never know who's going to find your content. But the beauty is you can also cut up your content. So as I said, the importance of the planning phase, once you've planned it, you know that the content that will be going in there is quality. You can then begin to chop up your little clips.
Yes, because one of the things that I found is that even though you've got the best will in the world to get so many things out on Instagram, Facebook, get your podcast out, life takes over, business takes over, actually your actual business takes over.
Yeah.
And therefore, it's very difficult to keep going. Making that hour really important, like how many clips you can get out the hour, how many things you can get out the hour. That's really good.
Absolutely.
If you can do it for a month, maybe you could come once a month for an hour.
Yes.
Get that content. Bang. Your content's in. And then what do I do with it? Oh, you leave it with Isaac.
And then I will
Isaac
sort
sorts
it out for you.
Yes.
Yes. And I love that you've brought that point up. Yes, we do bulk recording too.
Yes.
So if we agree that it will work out, if you're coming from far, for example.
I can bring 6 different T-shirts with me.
Right? Yes, you can.
Yes.
There's somewhere to change. I just noticed.
Different hair.
The toilets.
Move over.
You can get
on
changed.
the sofa.
There's showers in here
chairs.
as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's shower facilities.
Yeah.
So, there's that leeway. Yes, we can do 4 hours. We can do 6 hours if we need to. And then another thing that I was speaking about is, speaking again of what sets me apart, I do out of hours.
Yes.
It's a premium service.
Yes.
Which takes an hour's notice. However, if it's the money is right, and it's an emergency and you need to record a podcast, maybe your usual studios let you down, or it's just something you need to do urgently.
Yeah,
you let me know, and our
or if
studio,
it's reactive, might be reactive to something, okay, we need to talk about it right now.
We've got a guest who we usually wouldn't have, and they're in the area. You just want to come and do an interview.
Something's just happened in our industry, and we want to talk about it.
We want to talk about it.
Yeah, let's be the first out there.
Yes, you can be the first in that. Yeah. The studio is rigged to go at a moment's notice.
Yes.
So nothing has to take ages to set up. It's just a couple of minutes is set, and we do so the out of hours offer as well. So even on the weekend, so Saturdays will be usual working day for me, and Sundays, depending on the hours. Of course, I'll minimize it.
Yeah.
But as of now, I do an out of hours service, which obviously I can give a quote if anybody is interested in that as well. So
yeah. Well, you know, you can reactive to news, to new products coming out. People want to do reviews.
Yes.
To even like, you know, the results of a football match and people wanting to talk about it.
Yes.
You know, if anything is important, they want to get that out there and be the first.
Yes.
Then you're there.
And
you're there
so
for that.
much. You're right. You know, I wasn't even thinking of that lane, but there's so much coming out now
in
the world. Like that's happening with just different things. There's been football, Africa Cup of Nations, something happened like that. There's been all sorts, you know, like with the world, Europe and this and that. So you are right.
Yeah, of course.
There was an award show in Sheffield last week.
Yes.
Mobile Awards, right?
Yeah.
This award show usually brings together a whole lot of artists that ordinarily wouldn't be in one space because it would cost you an absolute fortune to put them in one space.
Yeah.
I saw that as an opportunity. I was thinking, man, if there was somebody sharp enough to know that you've got people in a place where if you try to get them there yourself, you probably won't. If you call me and you just convince that person to come and sit down with you, we're recording content.
Yeah.
You're recording content with different kinds of individuals, different kinds of personalities out of convenience. And all you have to do is to take a detour because Sheffield, I think, is only 40 minutes from here? Maybe 35, 40 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So there are those, and that's just one example. There are different things that happen up in the north, right? Concerts, this and that. So you might have an opportunity where somebody comes about who usually would not, and maybe you have an opportunity to sit down with them. Give me a call.
Yeah.
I'll make that happen.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so much potential, isn't there?
There's so much. And I've said what I'll do is I will put together an extensive price list.
Yes.
So I've got somebody that's going to help me in terms of visuals, because I also want to record the practicality of what I do, because sometimes you explain it and people don't really know what goes in.
This is why I wanted to get you in this situation.
Absolutely.
And say to you, like, you know, it's all right you saying, oh God, you know, I can help all these businesses.
Yeah.
Let's get Podmatic in there.
Yeah.
Let's help Podmatic to advertise itself.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and what better way than to get in front of all these amazing technology and put something down
people.
on and talk about it.
Yeah. No, actually, I think it's been a great one.
Yeah.
We need a part 2. Perhaps.
We need a part 2, but also, I mean, I would really like to get together with Leanne, who does our Pilates and nutrition.
Brilliant.
With Tom, who is our physiotherapist, and with Claire, who is our PT in the Junction. And I would really like to talk about health and fitness and why it's important in the workplace, why it's important for everybody, and what we're trying to do about it, and how we want to get everybody involved.
Yeah.
And I know that, you know, you've got to think about it as being interesting. You know, you've got to try and make it interesting and get people engaged. And I think that I bully people into doing the Wakefield Hospice 10K or doing a HIIT session or doing Pilates on a Wednesday lunchtime. And I do bully all our clients into trying and to get them fit.
Yeah.
But I think that if they think about it more by listening to how excited that Leanne and Tom and Claire get about getting people moving, making them healthier and fitter, and knowing more about their bodies and what they should and shouldn't be eating, it'll be really helpful for their health, wellness.
Absolutely. And depending, were you thinking of a group talk or are you thinking to do one-on-one dialogue?
I was thinking of getting them all on the sofa.
Oh, yes. On the sofa, beautiful.
I think we can get them all on the sofa, Isaac.
Yes, get them on the sofa. I was going to say, because what helps as well with this, we're just sat down talking.
Yeah.
But when I do the edit, it's magic. It also brings its own element, and the audio. So the audio, the edit is like, you're saying about making it interesting.
Yeah.
The frames, there's a style to editing. If your editing style is on point, it keeps people engaged.
This is it.
So you have to have frame on frame every second. You're changing the frame so
and
that
what
people
I would
stay
like
interested.
people to see is the fact that is all that detail that you do.
Yeah.
But also I would like people to see how everything works.
Yes.
Like because there's two of us here just
course.
chatting away.
Yeah.
But how it works in a group where you've got loads of people that can talk at the same time.
Oh, yes.
And, you know, how you instruct them into getting all that sorted
Together.
and down onto a podcast, something that you can listen to and think, oh, God, you know, people weren't all talking on top of each other.
Nope.
And, you know, it was funny or it was fun. It was interesting. It was, you know, it wasn't dull and boring. And actually, you know, I will take it to the next step and listen to number 2.
Absolutely.
You know.